Hello there everyone, this is Mark Brightside, and I'm here to introduce you to a game, one of the first 5 games I ever owned actually, and only the second 3D game that I ever played, the first being Star Fox 64. I've alluded to this game a few times in previous Let's Plays. Welcome to A Bug's Life on Nintendo 64. This is gonna be a wild ride. Anyway, you start up the game and you see standard stuff, options, load save. Challenge mode I'll be tackling at a later date, but for now we're going to go into training mode, because the training mode is actually a level in its own right. The tutorial is actually a world, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Well, hello.
So, welcome to the game. It's a standard sort of 3D platformy adventure type thing. You've got a few different moves available at your disposal. In this case, your standard attack is this projectile where you throw berries at things. The berries can be leveled up. The standard red berry projectile is actually very weak. There are some enemies that it can't damage at all, but I'll be getting into that at a later date. For now, we're just being introduced to the mechanics, and before you ask, no, this is not my computer. The frame rate really is this shitty. This, even for the time, compare this to, say, Jet Force Gemini, or Banjo-Kazooie, or literally any other N64 game, and this really doesn't look very good. The textures are quite nice, I'll say that. The textures are alright, but the character models leave quite a lot to be desired, and oh my god, the slowdown. We'll be seeing some later levels where the slowdown cripples this game. But anyway, what we're seeing here is an introduction to the main mechanic of the game, which are seeds, these little plants that you can grow by manipulating seeds and collecting these tokens. There are multicolored tokens in the game that influence what plants, not flowers. They influence what flowers you're able to grow. You start out with a simple sort of bouncy mushroom that allows you to reach higher areas by jumping on it, and you sort of go from there. So in this instance, we collected a green token, and that gave us the level 1 platform plant, and then we collected another one that gave us a level 2, etc, etc. There are also quite a few pickups dotted around every world. There are 50 pieces of grain. 15 would be much easier, no, 50. And 4 letters that spell out the name Flick. Collecting all 50 pieces of grain will add a token to the end of level results screen and refill your health completely. Collecting all 4 Flick letters, so spelling out his name. You don't have to get them in any order, by the way. You can get K, L, I, F if that's what you want to do. And that sounds like something vaguely disgusting, so let's not elaborate on that. Collecting all 4 letters will actually give you an extra life, and that's the only way you can earn extra lives in this game. So if you're going to go after one of the collectibles, go after the Flick letters. By the way, here's the most basic enemy type in the game, black ants. No, I don't know why. They look so drastically different to me. I am playing as an ant, and I look nothing like that. But whatever. Don't question it. It's a cartoon platformer video game. Disney! Disney things! And yeah, I know this film was made by Pixar, so shut the fuck up. I really quite like this movie, actually. Not this movie that we're watching right now, the actual movie. But anyway, here's the 3rd collectible of the level. The highest level berry upgrade that you can get in the game is the gold berry. I'll be talking more about the berries in the next level, but essentially the berry only increases in power, and it gains some additional effects as well when it upgrades through the levels. The gold berry will actually annihilate an enemy completely, so they don't respawn. Otherwise, every enemy in the game will respawn after a set period of time. The gold berry will completely annihilate them from the map. In order to get all 3 end-of-level tokens, you have to spell out Flick's name, collect all 50 pieces of grain, and eliminate every enemy on the map. Doesn't sound too bad. I mean, if you just keep looking for long enough, you'll find all the grain, and you'll find all the Flick letters, but killing the enemies can be a bit problematic, but we'll talk more about that at a later date. By the way, I hope you enjoy how long it takes to bring up this save screen. And how long it takes to save. And how long it takes to return to the game. Oh, oh, that pause always hurts me. I'm going to be editing those pauses out, but I just wanted you to see just how much this game chugs when it goes through the menus. You can practically feel the engine just straining under the effort. And I don't know why the menus are so badly optimized, but whatever. Anyway, so this is the first proper level in the game, and I have to be honest and say this is probably one of the best levels in the game. The only thing I don't like is your objective in this level is to get to the exit where you can see over there Dot is sort of flying around the level, and she will guide you towards the exit, but as long as she's nearby you, she'll keep constantly pestering you and telling you where to go, and that can get, well, grating pretty quickly. But aside from that, this level's okay. Anyway, moving on to the berry upgrades I was talking about before, here's one. This is the green berry, and it adds a homing effect to your shot, and I believe it's 1.5 times as strong as a red berry. However, I don't really find it that useful, and we'll see why when we get to the next berry upgrades, but in the meantime, hey, it's the harvester from the movie. You know, that thing. I'll pick it up then. There we go. What this allows you to do, this really bothers me, I'll tell you why in a second. Basically, the harvester will kill any enemy that you come in contact with immediately, and it gives the same effect as if you killed them with a gold berry. So if you kill an enemy with a harvester, it ain't coming back, and it will go towards your counter. But what's annoying is that earthworm enemy that we passed before. Some enemies in this game are considered as armoured, and that earthworm is one of those armoured enemies. So it's just frustrating to me that the very first harvester that you find in the game can't kill the enemy that it's like 3 inches away from. Wonderful design. Also, the harvester can attract pieces of grain, so if you're having difficulty finding all the grain for some reason, just sort of stroll around in the harvester and you'll pick it all up. Speaking of picking things up, there are 2 different kinds of seeds. There are seeds that are buried in the ground, which cannot be moved by any means at all, and there are these seeds that you can pick up and carry on. Also, over there, that blue beetle thing is one of the armoured enemies, so I can't kill him at the moment with my standard berry projectile. I can, however, flatten him with a seed. I don't know why you can do that. You can't kill every armoured enemy in the game that way, only some of them. But, yeah, anyway, we'll see more of that later on. For now, let's just carry on in the level. Avoid that. Thank you. Thank you for that, Flick. Yeah, this orange plant here, it spits out... Well, there's a few different varieties for this plant. It can either spit out invincibility pickups, or health pickups, or some other stuff that I'll get into at a later date. That one spat out invincibility dust. For some reason. Sure, why not? There's a couple of ways you can get up to this ledge as well. There are some vines hanging down over there. It's one of only 2 levels in the game that actually does contain vines, but the swinging is really, really awkward and just kind of doesn't work properly. So I just prefer to get up the way that I just showed you, sort of ham-fist my way up there. Also lets you get this flick letter a bit early if you get up now. We could very easily, actually, we just walked past the exit of the level. That was the end of the level back where that wooden fence was, but I want to show off... This is a good introduction level because it sort of shows you how the game expects to be played. There's 2 different ways you can go through this game. You can either play it very... You can either sort of rush through it and just get to the exit as quickly as possible, and that's fine and dandy. Well, I say that, apart from a couple of levels. There are a couple of levels that force exploration whether you like it or not. Or alternatively, you can take your time, you can sort of wander around the level, see everything that there is to offer. Honestly, I'd say you're probably going to have more fun if you just sort of rush through the game, because... I should have said this earlier, honestly. This is a really bad game. Oh, the camera. Look at the camera. You have to haul it into position. I'll talk more about the camera at a later date, because in this is one of the few levels where the camera isn't really an issue because of how wide open this one is. But some of the later levels, oh, the camera just makes me hate being alive. But this is not a very good video game. I am going to bash this game at points. If this is a game that you hold very dear to your heart, or if me bashing it is going to upset you in any way, I wouldn't watch this LP. I'd find something else to watch, because I am not going to give this game any slack. I had this game when I was a child. It was one of the first games I ever owned, and it kind of traumatized me. Because... Yeah, I played the hell out of it. I did play this game a lot, but that was because I had literally very, very little else. It was lack of options, believe me, and there were parts of this game that even as a child, when I had very, very limited options, there were parts of this game that I hated. I guess I should talk a little bit more about the different kinds of seeds. The different coloured tokens all correspond to a category of plants, so the green tokens will give you these platform plants, which, by the way, navigating with these janky controls is marvellous. Every time you get a new green token, it will add an extra leaf to the platform plants, letting you get higher and higher and higher. I think the largest one actually has 5 leaves, maybe 4, I'm not sure. I don't remember off the top of my head. The brown tokens will improve the movement plants, so we start out with the bouncy mushroom, and the one I've just got now is the propeller plant, which will launch you high up into the air, and you can actually throw seeds into the propeller plant and have it carry them up to higher levels. And there are 2 more levels beyond that. The movement plants, I'd say, there isn't one that's sort of categorically better than the others. Like with the green plants, you always want to be using the largest one because there's no reason not to. Whereas with the movement plants, it kind of depends on what you're trying to do. Like here, I need to get this seed up here. Well, I say that. You actually don't. You can get the pickups up here without using a seed, but it's just easier, and I didn't feel like abusing save states. So, yeah, made myself a little bit more inconvenient there, but it probably saved time in the long run. But with the movement plans, you kind of have to be careful of what situation you're using each one in. I've got the gold berry now, so I can start massacring everything in the level. The blue tokens spawn the pickup generating plants, so at the moment I can spawn one that will launch health pickups. If I get another blue token, I can spawn one that will launch invincibility pickups, etc, etc. And I do have to say, that's the most awkward health system ever. Very occasionally enemies will drop health, but aside from that, you're mostly going to be, well, either not collecting health, which is generally what happens, or you're going to be spawning these plants. And the thing is, they don't always spawn health pickups. There's like a 50-50 chance of them either spawning a health pickup, or this little green spiked ball that will actually damage you. So, if you're low on health, it can be a bit of a pain recovering. Sometimes you do just have to wait for the enemies to respawn and keep killing them over and over again until you can get a health pickup from them, which sucks, honestly. And you might be noticing as well, there's 21 enemies in this level, which, it's not that bad, and the level isn't exactly a maze, so you can get them all fairly easily using the gold berry. It's not really a massive challenge. Later levels will change that. Oh my god, later levels will change that. For starters, the levels in this game get really fucking big as it goes on. Like, oh my god, do some of these levels get large. And there are some levels that have like 45, 50, 55, 60 enemies in them, and it just gets insane. And there's one level where you don't actually get the gold berry until a couple of meters before the ending post, so like where you go through the gate to end the level, which means you have to backtrack all the way through to kill everything if you want that fucking token at the end. And of course I want that fucking token at the end because I feel the need to 100% everything, so yeah, this isn't really a game designed for someone like me. If you're the kind of person that needs to 100% everything in order to enjoy a game, then don't play this. For the love of God, don't play this. Some of the levels are just excruciating to get all 3 tokens for because of this fucking gold berry. And also, not every level actually has a gold berry pickup. Only certain levels do. So, in levels that don't have a gold berry pickup, what you have to do is instead collect all the purple tokens. The purple tokens let you grow plants that will contain the berries that you need. So you can get one that will grow a purple, a green, a blue, and a gold berry. The purple and blue berries are the ones that can break armor. The green berry kind of isn't that helpful, as I mentioned before. The purple berry, if you don't care about going for the tokens, then get the purple berry, because it has the armor-breaking properties of the blueberry, but it homes in like the green berry, so the purple is by far the best. Gold completely bypasses armor. It doesn't kill every enemy in one hit. There are some that it takes 2. but you will kill every enemy in at least 3 hits with the gold berry, and as I said before, they don't respawn afterwards. Get around the leaf, Flick, Christ. The controls in this game aren't very good. I realise watching this, they don't look that bad, but oh, they're bad. They're really bad. His jumping is simultaneously stilted and floaty. There's no way to explain it without actually playing it yourself. It's ghastly. Trying to make precision jumps, which you do have to later on, gets to be a bit of a problem. Yeah, we've got everything in the level now. We've killed all the enemies with Goldberry, we've gotten all the tokens, etc. So the only thing left to do now is to showcase the final plant upgrades, one of which being the dandelion, which works like this. You hatch the seed, just like any other plant, and it spawns a dandelion that you jump on the leaves to sort of bounce you up in the air and catch one of the seeds, and this will allow you to sort of glide for long distances. I don't really know how else to describe it. And that's how you get that token. The plant that we just got from doing that is actually completely useless in this level. I don't know why they even bothered putting it in here. And I think it only appears in about 3 levels in the game. It's the cannon plant, and it launches you really high up into the air. But anyway, so after going over a shit ton of mechanics, I will sort of go over these again in a later video because I realised that was a bit of a clusterfuck. But there's a lot to go over, and I want to get that stuff out of the way early on so that we can soak in these wonderful, wonderful levels. And like I said, I will be editing out the pauses between levels, but I just wanted to let you savor it. Oh yeah. Anyway, so next time we'll be moving on to level 2, the tunnels. So take care, and see you all next time.